Hey, what's up? It's Comic95, the Savior, and for this video, I'm going to be giving you 20 tips plus one bonus. I'm making it a total of 21 things that your Japanese boyfriend and or date will do if they are serious about you and legitimately love and or like you. Keep in mind, as always, every relationship is different, and at the end of the day, the guy that you're dating is a man. Each person has their own personality. What one guy does, another guy might not do, etc. And there's lots of exceptions to every rule. Just because your guy doesn't do something doesn't mean that another guy, doesn't do it as well. Everyone's different. But in general, these are things that Japanese guys generally will do if they are serious about you. If you haven't checked out my playlist on dating in Japan or read my blog, I highly suggest that you check out both. It will answer a lot of your questions. I've already made a video talking about how to identify a quote-unquote fuckboy, and which is pretty much the opposite of these tips and pieces of advice. So, before I get started, I want to give some general real talk advice that will pretty much overlap the things I'm going to say in this video. If your guy is serious about you, you won't have to question it, you will know it. If you're having to come to me, send me a private message and ask me for advice on what I think or personal opinions, you've probably already sealed your fate and answered your own question. He's not serious about you. If you have any doubts, any second thoughts, trust your gut, you're right. He is dating, married to someone else, or you're just someone on the side, a bucket list check off item. I got to fuck a black girl, I fucked a blonde, whatever the case might be. So, now that I've gotten that piece of information out of the way, let's get to it. Number 1. He makes plans to see you, date you, whatever, in advance. This guy is not going to wait until the last minute, the day before, 2 days before, 3 days before, to decide that he wants to see you on Saturday. He makes elaborate plans. So this guy is going to want to see you for the entirety of Saturday or maybe the entire weekend. He's not going to be somebody that's going to message you an hour before saying, hey, can you give me a blowjob in 30 minutes after work? No. A guy like that is not serious about you. But if this guy's making plans with you in advance, on a regular basis especially, he's definitely serious about you. Number 2, he tries to impress you both with the way that he dresses and looks, as well as where he takes you. For example, if he knows that you like sushi, he's going to try to choose a nice, expensive, fancy sushi restaurant to woo you over. If he knows that you like guys that have, a nice, clean cut, he will get that nice clean cut. You like men in suits? He's going to be wearing a suit every time you see him. He's going to be really concerned about trying to give you a good impression. Number 3, when possible, he wants to meet you during the daytime. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, if he's like how I assume you are, if you're like me and you have a day job, obviously it's not going to be possible for a salary man, unless he works overnight, which is rare, for him to meet you during the day. But if he's always only available to meet you late at night, then I'm pretty sure that we can both say or assume that this guy is not serious about you. If he is serious about you, he will like to see you in the daytime as well, because generally there are different places open, different things to do, and a different experience to have. Whether it be different food that you eat and drink, going to a museum, sightseeing, whatever. He's going to want to see you in the daytime, not always seeing you, booty call hours at 3 a.m. or seeing you after 10 p.m., etc. Also, being seen in the daytime generally means that he's probably not married, has nothing to hide, because he's not afraid of being recognized or seen with you during the time in which, obviously, other people are out and about, shopping, eating, etc. Number 4. All of your dates don't involve sex. That means they don't start with and or end in sex. If every time you meet each other, it has to be you guys having sex with each other, you can lie to yourself and say, oh, we both really just like sex. Trust me, I do too. But if your relationship is legitimate, it's very unlikely that your man, or even you yourself, is always going to be in the mood all the time. And if for some reason you cannot have sex, such as maybe you don't like having sex on your period, or maybe you're not feeling well, and he suddenly, has to cancel the date, or he says, oh, well, let's meet next week, whatever, more than likely this guy isn't entirely serious about you, unless he offers to come over, comfort you, and, buy you medicine, take care of you. It doesn't sound too good. Number 5, he introduces you as his girlfriend and he brags about you. If your boyfriend does not tell people that you are his girlfriend, or he acts really shy or wants you to lie about, who you are to him, etc. Or if you listen to him talking Japanese and he's not being honest about your relation with each other, then you need to run. But if this guy is bragging about you, he's talking about how much, he likes you and how you're his girlfriend, and he goes out of his way to say, my girlfriend, my girlfriend, my girlfriend, this guy is definitely serious about you. And by brag about you, I mean any opportunity he gets to talk about you and or your home country, he takes advantage of it, even if it drives other people crazy. For example, my own boyfriend, literally every 2 seconds we go out somewhere, if he's like being spoken to by another staff member in regards to me, it's kanojo, kanojo, kanojo wa, kanojo wa, kanojo wa, constantly nonstop. And if he's not saying kanojo wa or anything like that in regards to you, yeah, it doesn't sound too good. Number 6, he makes plans and wants for you to meet his family. I'm not just talking about briefly saying, oh, you need to meet my mom, but like legitimately makes plans. Like he tells you, my mom's going to be in town next week. I want you to wear this, etc. My mom's going to be here. My uncle's going to be here. Like tries to get you to meet everyone, including his friends. Doesn't sound too good. Now, of course, don't get it twisted. A guy can have you meet his mom and or his friends and not be serious about you. You need to know what they think of you. Has he told them that you're his girlfriend? Has he told them that he's serious about you? And keep in mind that for some guys, like having their mom meet you is not a big deal like how it used to be back in the day. So it totally depends on the guy. Don't take one thing and run with it and be like, oh my God, he said I'm his girlfriend in front of his friends, so that means he loves me and it's official. No, you need to consider all 20 of these things and then some. Number 7, he worries about your public image. And yeah, I'm not the best example for this, but again, I'm just being real. What I mean by that is he doesn't want you to go out the house dressed like me. He wants you to be wearing clothes that are appropriate. He's worried about, other guys looking at you or you being perceived as a whore, etc. Now, your opinions on this are totally up to you, but I'm telling you how Japanese guys think. If he's serious about you, he's not going to be okay with his girlfriend dressed like a hooker out in public. He's not going to find it sexy. He's going to find it a little bit embarrassing and feel kind of protective and jealous over that. He's not going to like that. If he does feel that way about you, he's more than likely serious. If this guy is praising you and complimenting you like, oh my God, like, yeah, wear that, girl, he's more than likely just seeing you as a quick and easy free ticket for his sex. Thus, he doesn't care about what other people think about your public image because he has no plans in committing to you. Number 8, he worries about the language barrier that you two have. So this can be done in several different ways. He might stress out and try his best to study and practice English. You might even notice that he's gone out and bought some books secretly to study on the side. He might have started taking private English lessons to keep up with you or whatever your foreign language is. And or he might be super shy about speaking your native language and constantly express that. That is generally a good sign that this guy is serious about you. Now, don't get me wrong, fuckboys can do this too. They might only be concerned about, speaking English when it comes to having sex, initially meeting you, afraid that that might be a problem. But if this guy seems to continuously beat himself up about his English and continuously makes efforts to learn English throughout your relationship, not just with you, like as in he's using you to learn English, because that's a big difference, but trying to learn on his own, that is definitely a good sign that he's serious about you. He wants to make sure that you can both communicate with each other. And generally, there's some give and take in this. So he's also going to want to really teach you Japanese too, because he wants you to be able to communicate and talk with his friends and family and the people that he loves and cares about in his life as well. Number 9, he talks about the future with you. If your man is not talking about how he plans to be with you in the future, whether your kids will go to international school or, about how many children you'll have and where you'll live and grandma and traveling overseas, yeah, this guy's probably not serious about you because he probably hasn't even thought that far down the line because he has no intention with ever being with you for that long to even get to those points. Number 10, he replies to your texts and calls within a reasonable amount of time. If your man is taking 24 hours, 1 week, 2 days, etc. to get back to you, I promise you, no matter what job he works, he is not too busy. Japanese salarymen keep their phones in their hand a lot more than you think they do. Just like any other American, they use their phone to commute to work. They use their phone during their break. They use their phone after work. They use their phone all the time before they go to bed. I promise you, if he gave a damn about you, he would definitely get back to you within a day, and more than likely within a few hours. So don't be so easy to satisfy just because he messages you back at 11:59 after you send him a 7 a.m. good morning text. That guy is not serious about you. And to be honest, even something as simple as good morning, if he can't get back to you before lunch, I would be a little concerned. But honestly, I can give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him during his lunch break. If he can't get back to you during his lunch break after you send him a message in the morning, he's not serious about you. I've never seen anyone not use their phone during their lunch. Trust me, this guy doesn't care about you. He's not serious about you. Number 11, he buys you gifts just because. Now, of course, there's obligatory things such as White Day or your birthday or even Valentine's Day, but if your man has bought you a gift just because he thought of you, especially if it's like varying gifts, so gifts that are of little value, gifts that are very expensive, varying in that degree, or even all expensive, he's probably very serious about you. This guy is thinking about you when he doesn't have to, and he's willing to shell out cash for you without expecting anything in return, and not just doing it because of a Hallmark holiday. It's very standard for your boyfriend, if he's serious about you, to buy you a handbag, like my bag back here, and or some other type of expensive gift throughout your relationship. It's just a Japanese thing. Of course, there's other cultures that probably do this too, but this is unique as this is not something for me as an American that we expect our boyfriends to do, but it is of course appreciated if and when they do so. Number 12, he texts and calls you frequently throughout the week. So I talked about him replying back to your messages, but honestly, he should also be doing the same thing to you. If you are always the one having to initiate your conversations, it doesn't sound too good. But if he's also someone that, takes the initiative to text and or call you first, it sounds pretty good. Keep in mind, once again, don't take this one thing and run with it and say, oh my God, he loves me. You need to consider other factors too. But yes, if he is going out of his way to contact you first, then that's a pretty good sign that he's probably serious about you. Number 13, he's worried about his appearance around you. So this guy really freaks out. He doesn't want to be seen with a stain on his shirt, food in his teeth. He's really concerned about looking clean and polished in front of you. If you tell him that you don't like something, he'll never wear it, use it, whatever again. This isn't entirely good. I'm just telling you, how they think. Japanese people can be very self-conscious and judgmental and hard on themselves. So of course, be a good girlfriend and reassure him, but at the same time, do look out for little things like that. If he takes note of the things that you say that you do and or do not like. If he seems to be super worried about how he looks in front of you, kind of going back to an earlier point that I said about, making a good impression, he is definitely serious about you. A guy that's not serious is not going to care about whether you like his cologne or whether you like his haircut or, whether you like him in a hat or not. He's not going to care. You're going to take him as he is, and he's not going to see you again after that. So, that's that. Number 14, he wants to try his best to make you feel at home. He'll try to accommodate you in any way that he can, whether it be to mimic things from your culture, like trying to hold your hand and or kissing you in public, or being a gentleman and holding doors open for you, etc. Whatever little comfort that he knows from your country that you're used to, he will do. Even things like hugging in public, etc. can be embarrassing for a Japanese guy. So him attempting to do these things to, make you feel at home or make you feel comfortable is definitely a sign of him trying to accommodate you and or a sign that he is serious about you. He really loves you. Number 15, piggybacking number 14, he tries his best to help you get settled in Japan. So he wants to help you do things like set up your bank account, handle bills, if you need to call someone, any type of bill or any type of credit situation or anything in Japan, language things that you might need help with. If your Japanese isn't all that good, he will try his best to sort of act fatherly towards you and take over and make things as easy for you as possible. He wants to make your life in Japan as simple as he possibly can, and he will do whatever he can to make that happen. Number 16, he wants to live together. Now, before you get carried away, please keep in mind that when I say that he wants to live together, I want you to keep in mind, I'm sorry, I did 16. I'm gonna do it, whatever, 5, 6, you get what I'm saying. If he says that he wants to live together on his own. Now, it's very common for girls, especially foreign girls, to want to move in with their boyfriend. They want to feel like they're married and or make sure he's not seeing other girls, whatever. But while that can be a good thing and all work out, it's a lot better if he initiates the idea of living together and actually carries through with this on his own versus you making him feel forced into it. So if the guy says it, more than likely he's serious about you. He plans to only see you because obviously it's a lot harder for you as a man to get yourself into a girl's house versus the other way around. If he's not serious about you, he's probably not going to want to live together with you. Number 17, he remembers little things about you. I'm not talking about your name or your favorite color is pink. I'm talking about he remembers your sister's birthday, the day that your cat was born, your cat's favorite food, what your mother, what instrument your mom played in high school. Little strange things that have come up in conversation that you might have even forgotten that you told your boyfriend. He might remember the conversations that you've had where you've complained about, your coworker, the little things about you. He takes note of it mentally and might even physically write it down because he really does care about you and truly does love you. So look out for that. Number 18, he's not ashamed to be seen with you in public. This guy does not hide. He's not afraid to hold your hand or to be seen sitting next to you. He doesn't want to hide his face if he sees somebody that he knows come by. He doesn't try to act like he's not there with you or that you're not his girlfriend if other people are involved. He probably wants you to go to special events, like things that, his company, workplace, etc. So please keep all of this in mind. If he's serious about you, he's not going to have any type of strange excuse for why he can't be seen with you, such as, oh, I didn't tell my friends yet, or whatever. He'll be more than happy to introduce you at this moment. If he's ashamed to be seen with you, more than likely he's married, has a girlfriend, or you're one of those girls that, they're okay with sleeping with you, but they don't want to be seen in public with you. Maybe it's because you're overweight, you're a different race, whatever the case might be. Number 19. This is going to upset some people, but again, being real. He doesn't want you to pay for dates. If he's a guy that wants you to go half on, your dates, or plays the, oh, I left my wallet at home type game, you best believe this guy is not serious about you. If he insists on paying for the dates that you go on or acts really embarrassed or ashamed if you insist on paying for the date, then yeah, that's kind of like a telltale sign right there. If the guy is paying for everything, doesn't want you to pay, then generally he's serious about you. If he wants you to pay half of the date or pay for the entirety of it, acts like he left his wallet, he's probably not serious. But do keep in mind, you have to also factor in how many dates you've gone and how serious this guy has been acting from the get-go. You can most certainly date a guy that has money and is still using you and wants to pay for the date because he's only going to see you one time. And this is his way of, basically making up for the fact that he's a dickhead and playing you by saying, well, at least I paid for her food, right? And I gave her a taxi ride home. So think about it, and there's a lot of context to go into it. But generally speaking, if he wants to pay for everything and doesn't want you to pay for your dates, you can safely say that this guy is serious about you, because otherwise he wouldn't want to waste his time and or money on you. And number 20, again, controversial one, but he is very protective and gets jealous over you easily. He feels threatened if he sees another guy talk to you, ask you for help or directions. He might feel a little bit uncomfortable with you having male students. Little things like that. If he knows that you're texting another guy or sees that a guy likes your picture, he feels a little bit uncomfortable with that, and he might even define it as cheating. So do look out though. There is a difference between a guy being a little bit jealous and a guy, trying to control you and being narcissistic or whatever. There's a difference between the two. But a little bit of jealousy from this guy is typically a healthy, good sign. A guy that's not serious about you, just like how he won't care if you, dress whatever type of way and look like a whore. A guy also is not going to care if other guys like you, talk to you, whatever. He's just going to feel happy that he got the score too. So that's an easy way to define that. And my last tip, number 21, if he's serious about you, he's going to want to take pictures both with you and with you alone. He'll want you to send him pictures not of you in your bra and panties every day, but he's going to want nice, cute pictures of you that he can show his friends and show his mother, etc., where you look nice and presentable. If your man does not want to take pictures together, if he does not want to take pictures of you and tells you to stop, oh, stop right here so I can take a picture of you here, more than likely your guy is probably not very serious about you because he doesn't want people to see pictures of you together. He wants to forget you. He just wants to have sex with you. He's not serious about you, and he doesn't want you sharing pictures of you guys together online and whatnot. So that's that. Those are my 21 tips for you.